If you hate zucchini, this is the video for you. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Jones and today we are talking about vegetables that we hate. Now seriously, I have been vegan for the last 4 years and vegetarian for close to 35 years. So I've been on a plant-based diet for a long time, and over those years I have had to learn to like quite a few vegetables. I have to admit that when I was a kid, I was one of those super picky kids that just didn't like anything. I especially didn't like vegetables. And really, I didn't even like meat that much, just certain kinds. I won't say that I didn't like any vegetables. I loved salads. I tended to like raw vegetables more than cooked, but there were a few vegetables that I particularly loathed. And to this day, a few of them I am still trying to learn to love. Now, I don't know if I'll ever truly love them, but at least I'm learning to eat them. Now, as a vegan or a vegetarian, it's really important that you eat plenty of vegetables, and so it's important that you like them too. So the key is to find really tasty recipes that you can enjoy and that maybe disguise the vegetable enough so that you can tolerate eating it, and maybe then you'll actually learn to like it. So, like I said, there was a few vegetables that I'm still working on, and I'm trying to do a little bit of a series here where I talk about different ways to cook these vegetables. So if there's a vegetable that you really don't like or that you want to learn to like, please leave a comment down below and let me know what that is. And that way I can work on some recipes to share with you using those vegetables that might just get you to like them. So today I'm starting with my enemy number one, which is zucchini. And I know I might get some flack for this because there's a lot of people out there that love zucchini, but I have never been one of them. In fact, when I was a kid, they actually caused a gag reaction. That's how much I hated them. I didn't like the flavor, I didn't like the texture, and I still don't. So I have a huge garden every year, and last year I decided to actually plant zucchini so that I would be forced to try making it in different ways and to find some recipes that I really love. Because zucchini is really good for you, and there's lots of ways to make it, and I'm trying to learn to love it. So I found a few recipes that I really like that you really can't even tell that they have zucchini in them. And that's why I'm sharing them today, because if you hate zucchini, this is the video for you. So we're gonna do a little sweet, a little savory, a little, you know, just super healthy, and hopefully there's something in there that you're willing to try. And I know that if you do try it, you're gonna love it. Really, these recipes are so good, and since I am such a zucchini hater, which I hate to say that because vegetables are just very special, but it's true. I don't like zucchini, and I'm working on it. So if I like these recipes, you're gonna love them. So before we get started, don't forget to like this video if you like it. Leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel. You can also share this with a friend. Maybe you have a friend who hates zucchini, or make one of these recipes for them and surprise them. Don't tell them there's any zucchini in it. For our first recipe, we'll be making a delicious and moist zucchini bread. You will not believe how good this bread is. I can't believe it myself. So we're going to need to make a couple of flax eggs for this, and I was out of ground flax meal, So I decided I'd show you how I do mine. I keep whole flaxseed in the freezer, and then when I need some, I grind it up and put that in a jar and keep it in the refrigerator, and it just keeps it fresher that way. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and to that we're going to add about a half cup of water. I used to measure this out by tablespoons, but figured out that it's pretty much a half cup. And then you just stir that up and set it aside and let it gel up. You might have to give it a stir before you use it, but yeah. Here we have some beautiful zucchini, and yes, I will admit they are beautiful and worthy of love. But these are not the ones from my garden. I was filming this much later in the season and I didn't have any left from the garden, but they are organic. And I'm using my food processor to shred them up. This is the best way to do it because it's so fast, but if you don't have a food processor, you can just use a cheese grater to shred up your zucchini. So then I'm just putting that in a large bowl with some sugar, some melted vegan butter. You could use olive oil in place of that, and then I'm adding my flax eggs. Just give that a good stir, and then we'll put in the dry ingredients. So we have some all-purpose flour, and then I'm also using whole wheat flour, but really you could use any kind of combination you want. You could use a gluten-free all-purpose flour. And then I'm just adding some baking powder and some cinnamon and some pumpkin spice that I put together myself, and some salt. And I just like to make sure those are all kind of mixed together before I stir them into the wet ingredients. So now I'm just putting the batter into a bread pan that is lined with parchment paper, and I use these little metal clips to clip down the paper, a little trick I learned from Martha Stewart. But just make sure that if you do this method, your clips are all metal and don't have any plastic on them. And then I'm just topping that with some nuts. I did put some in the batter itself, and I think these are pecans, but you could use walnuts or probably almonds if you like. And then we'll just put that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 55 minutes. And this bread is so good, you guys. It's a lot like banana bread, but even better, I think, and I'm a huge banana bread fan. You can't even tell that there's zucchini in this. I mean, there's barely even any little green spots or anything to give it away, and the pumpkin spice in there just really makes it. This is so good. You have to make this. I am telling you, it's addictive. And for me, that's really saying something. The next recipe is for some super yummy zucchini fritters. Again, these are an unbelievable recipe. I have made them several times because I actually do really like them. And yeah, you know the drill. We're gonna shred up the zucchini. I'm using my food processor. And then what we're gonna do is put it in a clean dish towel, and we're just gonna squeeze that as hard as we can. We wanna get as much juice out as we can because you don't want your fritters to be soggy. So squeeze it hard, squeeze it. Then we'll be making another couple of flax eggs. You know the drill, 2 tablespoons of flax seed, and this time I'm using some of that zucchini juice instead of water in this. Don't want it to go to waste, and later on I actually did add in the rest of the zucchini juice. So if you feel like the dough is a little dry, go ahead and throw it in there. So we're just going to be adding the shredded zucchini straight into the flax egg, and then I'm adding some chopped scallions or green onions, and then just give that a good stir before we put in our dry ingredients. Now I'm adding some granulated garlic or powdered garlic. You could use fresh garlic if you wanted to, and some turmeric and some salt. and some fresh ground black pepper. I will have the full recipe for this in the description box below, or a link to it, which will probably be on my blog, which is veggerarchy.com. So yeah, make sure you check that out, because you want to make this recipe. They're really good. It's great for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever time of day, a snack. Yeah, they're really good. Our next recipe is for some Zoodle noodles, something like that. They're Soba noodles with some veggies and lots of flavor. A lot of people had recommended that I try Zoodles, but I just couldn't stand the thought of eating like a whole bowl of zucchini, so I thought I would cut it with some actual noodles, and I happened to come across this recipe from a blogger called This Savory Vegan, and it sounded good, so I thought I'd give it a try. Now, it's really easy to put together. We've just got some ingredients like soy sauce, some vegetarian oyster sauce, which you can probably find at a local Asian market. There's some agave, rice vinegar. We've got some garlic going on here, fresh pressed, and also some freshly grated ginger. And then we're going to add some garlic chili sauce, which I love this stuff, but if you don't want it too spicy, be careful with the chili sauce. And then we're going to add some chopped scallions in there. So just give that a little stir, and then we're going to fry up some tofu. I've got a block of extra firm tofu here that I'm just cutting up into cubes. And I do believe I pressed this. I usually do for things like this. You want to get as much moisture out as you can in order to make it nice and crispy. And we'll just throw our tofu in there. Be careful of splatters and spills and fire, hot. Then you just want to stir that up to coat the tofu and let it sit for several minutes to brown on one side, and then give it a stir and let it brown some more. It doesn't have to be brown on all sides, but it's nice. If it is, you can also air fry it. In the meantime, we'll boil up some soba noodles. These are buckwheat soba noodles. This time we're going to do something different with our zucchini. Instead of shredding it all, we are making zoodles. So if you have one of those fancy spiralizers, you can use one of those to do this, but I don't have one, so I'm just using a vegetable peeler to make really thin slices. And then I'm doing the same thing with a carrot. I just wanted to add some carrot to this recipe. It sounded good, some extra vitamins. And apparently at some point I put the marinade on the tofu and didn't get it on film. So yeah, you want to add a little bit of the sauce to the tofu and let that cook for a couple minutes. Set it aside, and then we'll use the same pan to cook our zoodles. And what would you call these? Croodles, carrot noodles, canoodles. Then we're gonna drain our buckwheat and rinse it with some cold water, and this is just to keep it from continuing to cook. This is actually supposed to be like a coldish, warmish salad, but it was really tasty, just warm. But you know, if you want to put it in the fridge and eat it later as a salad, it's great that way too. So I'm just adding all this stuff in the bowl. We got the noodles, we got the zoodles, we got the croodles, we got the tofu, and the rest of that really yummy sauce. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys, this was an amazing recipe. Okay, now's the moment of truth. Am I actually gonna like this? We'll see. Yeah, normally I don't like just cooked zucchini. I mean, of all the ways to eat zucchini, I don't know. Even as a kid, I would tolerate eating it raw, but cooked, but yeah, this actually looks pretty good to me. So if I like this, you're just about guaranteed to like this if you actually like zucchini. So here we go. Gotta make sure I get some zucchini in that bite. Well, the sauce is really good. Nice and gingery. I put a lot of ginger in there, I think quite a bit more than the recipe actually called for. And excuse me, I'm not used to using chopsticks. I just thought it would be appropriate for this because it's noodles and it's Asian style. That really is a good sauce. I highly recommend this. I mean, even just for the sauce. And honestly, I can't even tell the zucchini is in there. So that's good. I mean, one of the things I was going for in these recipes are things that kind of disguise the flavor of the zucchini, because it's not only the flavor but the texture that I don't like, and I think all of these recipes have done a really good job with that. The zucchini bread, you definitely can't tell the zucchini is in there at all. The zucchini fritters, the flavor is a little more prominent, but not so much that I didn't like it. I mean, I really like those fritters. And now this, I could eat this all day long. So I think I've done a pretty good job at finding some recipes with zucchini in them so I can utilize my fresh zucchinis out of the garden in the summertime and add some extra nutrients to my meals without there being a gag reaction. I definitely will make this one again. This is really good. Now, I don't know if I could stand a whole bowl full of just zoodles, but having it mixed in with the noodles makes it okay for me, so. Well, here we are at the end of another video. I hope you liked this one and that you'll try out some of these recipes, because honestly, these are all really, really good recipes. And since I have been such a zucchini hater for so long, that's saying a lot. And it's actually quite a relief to me to find some recipes that utilize zucchini that I love to eat and want to share with you. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.